Hey guys, StarCraft here, trying a different position in, well, this is basically my bedroom. So I'm trying to get the lighting better, especially after the last video. But today, like I said before, I'm going to be talking about Jawbreakers. Yep, yeah, I finally got mine in, and despite some of the hiccups going on, I'm sure you guys know about it by now. My book came in relatively good. Mostly. Not going to go into details on that one, but I gotta say, this was well worth the wait. The extra time, the extra months, everything, well worth it. And, I mean, first of all, just look at that cover by Ethan. Just, wow. That alone is worth the price, but this is going to be a spoiler-free review because, well, not everyone's gotten theirs in yet. It's going to be a bit delayed for that. And also, well, I'm pretty sure Rich wouldn't want me to spoil it anyway, so, or Ya Boi Zach, either way. So, I'm just going to go over general beats. I mean, as the summary already went, this is about a group of mercenary, former superheroes turned mercenaries. And in this book, we get one big story and a reprint of his old, of Zach's first story, book 1, plus a follow-up with book 2. It doesn't wrap up the events of book 1. In fact, it's a bit shorter than book 1, but it's still very good. But the main story of it all, well, and it's about them dealing with a giant ape, giant gorilla, basically King Kong. And, well, as you already know, just the artwork alone by Jon Malin is very good. Here's some artwork that was basically within the preview pages. If you saw that one, you know what you're looking for there. And yeah, we're just introduced to different characters. You have Silkworm, the main hero, and Coves and everyone. You just have so many different characters in here, and I gotta say, the writing on this is good. And again, Malin's artwork, damn good. Like, here's another one from a preview page they had shown. The giant gorilla, just wow. There's a lot of good humor in this as well. You have some moments of him subverting jokes, expectations. Like, without spoiling it, you have one character who you think's gonna be one thing, later on he makes lines that you're like, oh, okay. And then you have other things. I mean, there was stuff I really liked. There was a few other things I didn't like, or I felt like there was a weird transition between pages. I mean, this isn't perfect. It's not, but it really does feel like the 90s action-y stuff, like G.I. Joe and everything. It really does. And yeah, start the main story. It's a nice, self-contained story. By the end of everything, things are moving forward for them, but things happen. You have some stuff that goes way too fast. And even you're like, oh, really? They're going with that? He's going with that cliche? But for what it is, it's still a lot better than a lot of stuff I've been reading lately, that's for sure. And by the end of it all, it has a bit of a bittersweetness to it, which I think was the point he was going for. And yeah, there's a bit of anticlimacticness with some elements, but it kind of feels like a bit appropriate. And yeah, what else can I say? It's basically mercenary superheroes dealing with King Kong, basically. The book 1 is even more of the G.I. Joe format. Like, just look at some of this artwork. Just very much reminds me of G.I. Joe. The artist, Simon Bennett, did a fantastic job. Just so much of the artwork here. It is just very, very good, very interesting. The characters, again, this is where we start to find out more about the characters, but one thing that bothers me is that I'm not sure where this fits in regards to Lost Souls. Is Lost Soul a prequel to book 1? Is book 1 a sequel? Because there's certain characters in here that... Oh, sorry about that. There's certain characters in Lost Souls that, let's just say certain things happen in book 1 and book 2 that don't make much sense. Then you have some other characters who show up that don't show up, and if Lost Souls was a sequel, it'd be different. it does not really specify, because Lost Souls clearly was written as just being its own self-contained thing, not referencing book 1 and book 2. Because when he started doing this, he wasn't going to have book 1 and book 2 in it, so that makes sense. So it's a bit up in the air, but Simon Bennett's artwork, though, was still very good. But again, it kind of feels like it jumps around a little bit, and that's... Lost Souls feels mostly contained, and feels like it has a consistent story. Everything you noted was there. Jawbreakers book 1 and book 2, though, don't really. They feel like there's so many just jumps here, there, all of a sudden big revelations or going to certain characters that I don't want to spoil, but it just feels like, well, it feels like an amateur work, which it is. It's his, like it was one of his first comic works. I mean, very good for a first comic book work, but not perfect. And you could definitely tell it was like they were working with what they had. And obviously, this is what he originally came up with. So he had basically, put it out back as is. Didn't seem to do any rewrites or whatnot. And yeah, now I'll give one example of an inconsistency that's at a later point. But here's one character we have, this woman, blonde hair. Yeah, I'll show you in a little bit. But then we get to book 2 with artwork by Kelsey Shannon. And it's very different, but also... And this person did Batman Adventures. It shows in a lot of ways. But it's still very good. But again, without spoiling it, this is a point where it feels like, okay, this stuff really makes you wonder if this is set after Lost Souls or not, because of what happens to one particular character. But this is also a point where he starts to show a bit more XPs or references to very, spin-offs of Marvel characters and all that, and it's there. I'm not going to spoil which ones, but they're there. But he does it in a way that's still very interesting. Like, you know who they are, but they play them off differently. But remember that woman I told you about, the blonde? There she is right there. Yeah. What made her hair white? That's all I'm going to point out about that one. But yeah, again, it's just... The artwork here is just very, very good. And then you have the fan art section with each of his different characters. Overall, this was well worth it. Well worth the wait. You got 3 stories in here. Well, technically 2 stories, since the other one's book 2, a follow-up to the first one. But you get so much in this. And I don't know what else I could say. It was well worth it. It was well worth, the wait. The money we all put into it, that I put into it for this one. And I gotta say, all those anti-ComicsGaters or SJW people kept on saying like, who's laughing now? And I would say it's a lot better than Ironsights, both writing, artwork. Sorry man, for doing that. Who worked on that? Blank on your name right now. Sorry, Canals. Compared to Malin. Yeah, I mean, your artwork was good for that story, so yeah. And how does it compare to, say, Trump Space Force? Different thing altogether. Trump Space Force was a political parody. This was more of an action story. And again, he was going for the 90s action. Zach nailed it. Now, I don't know if Zach's going to check this out. I don't know if he even watches my stuff. Don't even really care anymore on that one. Believe me, I really don't care anymore. Zach, if you are watching this, whatever. What do you think of my stuff? I'm not banking on you seeing my stuff, so whatever. Again, whatever. So, yeah. This is it, and that's my review on Jawbreakers. I really liked it. Let me know how my lighting was this time. Did it come out better? I got nothing else. And by tomorrow, given how the poll is going, probably be doing a creator spotlight on Chuck Dixon next. So, that's all I gotta say. Again, well worth buying. Catch you all later. See ya.